Hello, wonderful people. How are you today? Today, I want to talk about this interesting tweet from Andrew Ng. I want to share my perspective on this tweet. So, Andrew Ng says that he wanted to get a cake for his daughter's birthday, and that cake need to be in yellow because his daughter likes it. So, he designed the cake using Gemini's Nano Banana, and he gave that design to a baker, and baker created that cake. He says that because he created the design using Gemini, the baker had to do a little bit more work, and it costed him more as well, but he was happy to pay that. Then he goes on and says that here AI is not taking people's job, it is helping them to do something better than what they have done in the past. And he also says that if AI is taking people's job, it is our moral responsibility to help those people to protect their livelihood. And then he goes on and says that we are still in the early stage, and in the past, whenever we invent a tool, it always helped a human to unleash their creativity, and it created a large amount of new and meaningful work, all those things. Then he says that AI is also growing the demand for many digital services, which is true. It is increasing the demand for many digital services, but I don't agree with what he says later on. So basically, he says that we have more demand for digital services. He takes web search as an example. He's saying that previously he used to do web search manually, but now he uses agentic AI using API, and because of that, the number of searches he does is more, which he says translates to more work for the companies which is providing the service. I disagree. So it is not more work, they just need to have more capacity. So they just have higher capacity to meet with this demand. So they'll need a bigger, better hardwares, which will be helpful for companies like Nvidia, because those are the companies which are providing these hardwares. But it is not directly helping developer, because you still need same number of developer or even less number of developers to deliver what this search functionality is providing, right? Once you have developed it, if your demand goes up, you're not going to keep developing it, you're just going to scale it up, you're just going to move to better hardware and better architecture. So this is not going to increase the developers that we need. And then he also goes on and says that nowadays he stopped writing code by hand, and more controversially, he says that he is not even reading the code in some cases. Okay, so which is true. I mean, I also do that sometimes, because if the application that I'm developing is not for my client, if it is my own tool, I won't look at the code. I'll just test it. If it works the way I want it to work, I'll just go with it. There is nothing wrong with it, but you need to understand the implications of that. I would never ever do that to my clients. Actually, when I'm writing code for money, I would never ever do that. I'll always review the code because I want to know what is going on. But if I'm writing my own tool, then I would do that. There is no problem with that. And he also says that in the future, it could be the case where we would treat Python, TypeScript, these kind of high-level programming languages as an assembly language. We won't even look at them, just like how we are not looking at the assembly language now. We trust that our compiler creates the correct assembly instructions, so we won't look at them, right? So whenever you compile your program, you're not going to look at your compiled output to see whether it has created right assembly or not. So we're not looking at that. So he is asking, will that be the case with these programming languages? I'm not sure. It could be the case. It depends, actually. So we just need to wait and see, okay? Or we could even come up with a better programming language or different programming language that works better with agentic AIs. We just need to wait and see. And he himself is asking that as a question. Then he also says that because the developer productivity is 10x now, we are not expecting 1/10 reduction in the developers. He's saying that we will have more demand simply because we can do more with less now, so there will be more demand. So that's what he's saying. And he says that there will be new job opportunities for something called X engineer. What is X engineer? So it could be like, you could be a business expert, but you can also write code or develop tools, and basically giving the power to develop tools using computer programs. for a domain expert. You will be a domain expert and you'll be able to write code as well. So you could be recruiting expert. You can also create code to optimize your business or your workflow. So he is calling that type of engineer as a recruiting engineer, and there could be another avenue for marketing engineer and stuff like that. So he is terming that as X engineer. It could happen because, it may be happening already, because I have worked in large banks where, the business people are really good with Excel. They have sort of create something called shadow IT, which is, creating entire system within an Excel sheet, because they have ability to do that. And it was already happening, and now this agentic AI may accelerate that. Okay, so I agree with him on this. But what I'm fundamentally disagreeing with him is where he says that because we have 10x productivity from developer, the demand for developers will go up. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Yeah, so that is what I wanted to share in this video. I hope this is useful. I'll see you in the next video.